So we'll do it in the virtual mode only. Now, first we will be showing you the plastic rock. Now, in the plastic rock, all of you are with copy and pen, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the plastic rock, basically we will be discussing the different kind of sandstone. We will be discussing quartz arenite, arkose, lithe arenite, lithe wake. So all these different varieties of sandstone that we will try to show you in a virtual mode. And then showing something, we will also give you exercise of some of the photographs that we'll upload in the Google class, and you will be writing the description that how to write the description of a plastic rock. And when we talk about the petrography of a plastic rock, what actually we mean by the petrography of the plastic rock, what are the features we basically look at, and how we write it in a practical notebook. This is to be discussed. Now, first, how we identify that the rock is a plastic rock? How? Anyone can answer me. How under microscope we get sure that I am seeing a plastic sedimentary rock? By which feature?
So we will get to see the clast, matrix, and cemented.
वो तो प्लास्टिक रॉक में ये सब रहते ही है, that we know. But which feature tells us that I am seeing a plastic sedimentary rock? Yes, plastic sedimentary rock पे clast रहता है, then matrix, then cement. That is no. The feature which basically tells you that I am saying the plastic sedimentary rock, that is that it will always show a fragmentary texture. Fragmentary texture. That means one clast is not matching with the other clast. So that means they have basically supplied as a detrital mode, as a detritus. So they are bound to show you fragmentary sedimentary structure. So this is the first thing that shows that you are basically, so first thing that why I am calling it a plastic rock, that it is showing you fragmentary texture. That is the first thing, that the rocks under thin section, it is showing me fragmentary texture. Now, once you see the fragmentary texture, then the question comes what Prerna has said, that it is made up of which component? Fragments are made up of which components? That the component, it can be clast, it can be matrix, it can be cement. Now there are three components: clast, matrix, and cement. Now first we will come on to the clast. Now clast can be, what are the different types of clast? You can be quartz, you can have feldspar, you can have lithic fragment. These are the three major clasts. That is the quartz, feldspar, and lithic fragment. I can also have the other mineral grains. Not that suppose I can have a mica grain, I can have a zircon grain, I can have a monazite grain, I can have the other grains. But the majority that we get, that is the quartz, feldspar, and lithic fragment. Now this quartz, feldspar, lithic fragment, among these, first we start with the quartz. What is the, if I have, suppose I have quartz, I am seeing quartz. Now the question comes, is the quartz monocrystalline quartz or the polycrystalline quartz? This is the first observation, monocrystalline or polycrystalline. If it is polycrystalline, then does it have more than 3 subgrain or less than 3 subgrain? More than 3 subgrain or less than 3 subgrain? And the subgrains, their geometry, they are equant or they are elongated parallel to one another. They are equant or they are elongated parallel to one another. All these things we have to note. Fine. So when we talk about a quartz, we say first the monocrystalline quartz I am getting polycrystalline quartz, I am getting the polycrystalline quartz with the more than 3 subgrain. or polycrystalline grain, because polycrystalline quartz with less than 3 subgrain, they are mostly from the supplied from the plutonic rock or low rank metamorphic rock, whereas polycrystalline quartz with more than 3 subgrain and which are elongated and parallel, they are mostly supplied from the high rank metamorphic. So all these observations, that is very important. Fine. Now you also note that the quartz, what I am getting, those are undulose quartz. That is, it will show undulation. You know what is undulosity? What is undulosity? Do you know that? Hello.
Yes,
So
sir.
we see a wavy thing on the quartz. So when we rotate the grain, then we see a wave migrating on.
Yeah, that means the extinction in the all part of the grain is not happening at the same time. It is not a single event of extinction. The extinction is sweeping. And the different part of the same grain is not getting extinct at the same time, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So now this is how does this happen? This actually indicates that there is a strain in the quartz grain. Okay. Now this strain can be for different reason. It can be a tectonic strain. May not be a tectonic strain. Even quartz, if you hammer a quartz grain, it gets strained also. Now, do you expect twinning in quartz?
Yes.
Which type of twinning? Hello?
Dolphin.
नहीं वो तो ठीक है डॉल्फिन ट्विन माने नॉर्मल पेट्रोग्राफी में डू यू सी द ट्विनिंग इन क्वार्ट्ज
So I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we very rarely see the twinning in the quartz. Very rarely see, though there are some twinning effects in the quartz, but it is commonly not visible in the normal under microscope, the normal eye under microscope. Normally we could not see it, but there are twinning. But we normally what we see is the undulosity. But what is twinning? Is twinning and undulosity same? Hello. Hello.
No, sir.
What is twinning?
Sir, it's intergrowth. Intergrowth of.
ना इंटरग्रोथ तो वो एक्सोल्यूशन हो गया ट्विनिंग क्या है ट्विनिंग किस में देखते हैं हम लोग
So we generally see in igneous minerals.
No, quartz is also igneous mineral.
सर एल्बाइट
ट्विन देखते हैं क्रॉस एचेड ट्विन देखते हैं पेरिक्लेस ट्विन देखते हैं ना
Yes, sir.
ये ट्विनिंग होते कैसे हैं किसको कहते हैं ट्विनिंग when two crystals, that is the two parts of a crystal, they with different crystallographic orientation, they share the same lattice site in a symmetrical way. So in a lattice, when they actually with different crystallographic orientation, from the one single lattice plane, the two halves of the crystal or the multiple halves of the crystal, they are with different crystallographic orientation. Then you get the twinning. You tell me what causes how we get the extinction of a mineral. Extinction किसको कहते हैं? What is the extinction of a mineral?
So when the orientation of the crystallographic orientation of a mineral either coincide with the vibration direction in the microscope, perpendicular maybe. I think.
No, I could not get you. When the
crystallographic orientation, the orientation of mineral coincide.
No. This extinction is what to do with crystallography. It is the optic axis, na?
Sir, optic axis, sorry.
Crystallography कहाँ से आ गया? So how you do it? The extinction when when your optic axis. Suppose you have a uniaxial mineral or you have a biaxial mineral. Okay. So what if you see the microscope? How really the you know how to determine the optic sign of a mineral? जो यूनिएक्सियल पॉजिटिव बाईएक्सियल पॉजिटिव ये माइक्रोस्कोप में निकाल सकते हो यूनिएक्सियल बाईएक्सियल?
So we didn't do in BSc and MSc तो ऑनलाइन चल रही है सर.
यही तो प्रॉब्लम है ना, ये माइक्रोस्कोप दिखाई नहीं पा रहा है, ये सब चीज सिखाई नहीं पाएंगे कभी. These are the problems. Now the thing is that when you suppose you see the microscope, the construction of a microscope, what happens really that you have a light source and then you have a condenser. So the condenser condenses the light. Then you have a polarizer. The polarizer actually allows the light to vibrate in a single plane. You allow the light which is vibrating on a single plane to fall on the mineral. The mineral then divides that ray into E ray and O ray, extraordinary and ordinary. And this extraordinary and ordinary, they basically move at different velocity. And that the difference in velocity in the E ray and O ray, that cause a phase lag between the two, which is responsible for different color of the mineral. Okay? And then it comes into the analyzer. In the analyzer, it you basically causes the further this ray, they basically the E and the O, they comes and the analyzer shows the phase difference between the two. Now, when the analyzer, the vibration direction of the analyzer and your ray, they are such that you are basically cutting the optic axis. That you are not allowing the optic axis. So then you get the extinction of the. So what is optic axis? What is optic axis?
Sir, the direction where the velocity of E and O ray are same.
Yes. So when you have that E and O are same, and you are basically in a direction when the E and O ray are velocity is same, you will not get any color. Because the color of a mineral completely depend upon the velocity difference of E and A. So any one particular direction of a mineral where the E and O, they are of same velocity, when you coincide your eye with that direction, then you are getting the black, that is the no color from the mineral. You slightly shift it, you start getting, because there is a difference between E and O ray, and you start getting the color. This is actually the your extinction. That when you are seeing the directly, you are intersecting the optic axis.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that is your extinction. So anyway, I am not going into that. So monocrystalline and polycrystalline. So this is what we do about the quartz. Now coming on to feldspar, we are now discussing the class discuss कर रहे हैं ना. So class में different kind, I have said the quartz, feldspar and lithic fragment. So the feldspar. The feldspar, you have the different kind of the sodic feldspar, you can have the potash feldspar. Potash feldspar are much more common than the sodic feldspar. So the potash feldspar, that is the orthoclase. And can you differentiate between quartz and orthoclase in the thin section?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I can't do it. So
Sir, only if the Undelos the extension is there.
it is very difficult. It is very difficult. Actually, unless you do the optic sign, it difference करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. Quartz is uniaxial, feldspar will be biaxial. This is the fundamental difference. And yes, we do it. We do it by seeing the dirty character. Normally, the feldspar, it will show a more dirty character, because feldspar always try to get decomposed. So it shows a dirty character, where the quartz will not show the dirty character. So this is a thumb rule that, but by that thumb rule, we often do lot of mistake also. And then you have the most common feldspars in the clastic rock are orthoclase and microcline. The microcline shows the cross-hatchet twinning, and which is very characteristic of identification of the microcline. Now, the third one that we are important, that is the lithic fragment. Now, lithic fragment can be of different type. But always what we get, the lithic fragment, they are fine grained lithic fragment. You can't have a coarse grained lithic fragment in a sandstone. Fine grained lithic fragment, it can be volcanic fragment, it can be metamorphic fragment, it can be a sedimentary rock fragment. We can have the shell fragment, we can have the siltstone fragment, we can have chert fragment, we can have quartzite fragment, we can also have some the fragment of the basalt or diabase. All these, the different kind of fragment, and this fragment, if we can identify, that gives us very good idea that what is the character of the provenance. That if you have metamorphic fragment, then you can directly conclude that there is a contribution from a metamorphic terrain. If you have a sedimentary or something like that. So the lithic fragments are also very important. Second, then what we basically identify, whether the class they are all of same size or they are of different size. So what is the sorting of the class? Is the class poorly sorted in size? They are well sorted in size. They are moderately sorted in size. So that is very, very important criteria to note that what is the size. What is the size? And then the roundness of the class. Are the class angular class? They are sub-rounded class. They are rounded class. All this talks about the transportation history. A class with less transport, which is a first generation class, they will be more angular, whereas the class which is polycyclic and which has suffered the several episodes of sedimentation process, they are likely to be more rounded. So the roundness of the class is also very important. The other thing, what people is that what is the class size? They are unimodal size. All the class are of same size, unimodal size, or it is bimodal class distribution. There are two different size, or it is a poorly. What is the sorting value? So the size, it is if all the sizes they are same, so they are nearly unimodal and well sorted. If the sizes are widely variable, small to large, then you say it is a polymodal and it is a poorly sorted. You can also have bimodal. There is the larger mode and a smaller mode. If we see the bimodal, then we have to check what are the minerals that is represented in the larger mode and what are the minerals that is represented in the smaller mode. It may not be that all the minerals are represented both the smaller and the larger mode. So there may be, is there a mineralogical control in the mode distribution, or there is no mineralogical control in the modal distribution? Then it will be very interesting to note that the larger mode is represented by which mineral, smaller mode represented by which mineral. So all these, that is the exercise I have to do for the class. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Then now coming on to matrix. Now, is the rock class supported or matrix supported? It is class supported or matrix supported. If it is matrix supported, what is the kind of matrix? It is a sandy matrix, silty matrix, muddy matrix. What is the size of the matrix? Once it is identified what kind of matrix it is a proto-matrix, it is a pseudo-matrix, or it is a epi-matrix. What I have said, it is a proto-matrix, it is a pseudo-matrix, or it is a epi-matrix. Have you written it?
Yes, sir.
Now, what are the difference between these? Proto-matrix is that when the matrix is deposited along with the clast, during the original deposition, the finer grain parts that is deposited with the larger size grains, that is the matrix, and then we call it a proto-matrix. Pseudo-matrix is that which is diagenetically produced matrix. That means the feldspar that decompose and form the clay matrix. That is what is called the pseudo-matrix. That is the feldspar is decomposed, and in place of feldspar, the matrix is generated. All these we actually show under the microscope. That feldspar decompose and then the matrix is generated. There are ghost feldspar grain that is still preserved. All these things are shown, but unfortunately this year it will not be possible. So then you call it a pseudo matrix, which is a diagonal. And if the matrix that is low grade diagenetically metamorphosed, if the matrix is metamorphosed, that means you generate the sericitic mica. Sericitic mica is generated out of the clay matrix. The clay matrix has given you the sericitic mica. Then you call it a epimatrix. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have to identify what kind of matrix and how the matrix is formed. So that needs to be petrographically identified and with suitable diagram that has to be described. Then coming on to the cement. Cement in sandstone or the clastic rock are of three different types. Number 1, silica cement. Number 2, carbonate cement. And number 3, iron cement. Three types of cement we get in the sandstone. Silica cement, carbonate cement, and iron cement. Now, what is silica cement? It is the most common cement, and we normally get the silica cement in terms of quartz overgrowth. We commonly see it as quartz overgrowth. So the overgrowth of the quartz, which we actually determine by the presence of dust line, that is actually the silica cement. The carbonate cement, that is it is polycrystalline carbonate cement. It is basically identified by the twinkling extinction. Is something like the stars in the night sky. The carbonates show the extinction as a twinkling extinction. And iron cement is commonly found as the iron oxide. Now, cements, at what stage these cements are formed? That if I get more than one type of cement, if there is only one type of cement in a sandstone, then it is okay. If there is more than one type of cement, then you have to identify that silica cement and the carbonate cement, which one is earlier, which one is later. And that is done by the textural relationship between the two cement. Okay. Finally, what we'll do, we have to based on our eye estimation, we have to do a volumetric estimation of this clast and matrix first. Whether the matrix, eye estimation, volumetric eye estimation, whether the matrix is more than 12% or matrix is less than 12%. If the matrix is more than 12% and the rock is matrix supported, if the matrix is more than 12%, rock will be matrix supported. Then we call it Wake. And if the matrix percentage is less than 12% and is clast supported, then we call it arenite. So the first thing is that we have to estimate the percentage of matrix that I am seeing a Wake or a arenite. Then once I am sure I am seeing a arenite, then I have to see the relative percentage of quartz, feldspar and lithic fragment. If the quartz percentage is more than 90%, it will be quartz arenite. If feldspar content, it is more than 20%, 20-25%, then it is arkose. In a arenite, if the feldspar percentage is more than 20%, then you call it a arkose. And then if you have the lithic fragment more than 10 to 15%, then you call it a lithic arenite. Similarly, in Wake, the estimation of this, that will tell you a quartz Wake, lithic Wake, and feldspathic Wake. So first you identify it is a arenite or Wake, then you identify the relative percentage of quartz, feldspar and lithic fragment, then you finally name the rock, that whether it is a quartz arenite, arkose or lith arenite, or quartz Wake, feldspathic Wake, lith Wake, what it is. This is how the total description of clastic rock to be done. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Fine. Now I request Aditi to show the first. We start with the quartz arenite, Aditi.
Okay, sir. Sir, do I need to first explain this entire slide or ये लोग पहले देख के थोड़ा observe करेंगे उसके बाद?
Yeah, but do you have quartz arenite?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have started to share the screen. I think it's visible to all.
Yeah, visible. It is visible.
Okay.
So if you have quartz arenite, then you try to.
Sir.
Quartz arenite.
Sir, this is quartz arenite.
नहीं, अभी दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है.
Sir, now is it clear?
या तो नहीं, इससे पहले तुम एक प्रोजेक्ट किए थे, दैट इज
Sir, sir, वो ये है.
ना ना, ये नहीं,
Hmm.
नो नो it is not.
So this is also quadrant.
Yeah, it is a quadrant, but there can be better example from it also. It is actually what you can see. इसका दूसरा फेस दिखाओ.
Sir, yeah. For this?
No, no. हाँ, keep it.
Okay, sir.
Now you see, this is a on the right side. You see that these are mostly the quartz grains, and there is a little amount of the dark colored material that is on the plane polarized light on the left side and the cross polarized light on the right side. So you see that there are some dark colored material. This dark colored material, they may be the iron oxide cement, and the grains are mostly in contact with one another. So the rock is a class supported rock, and at times that you are seeing that there are two grains there. Where the arrow, the Audi is showing, you can see that there are two grains. They are in concavo-convex relationship. So concavo-convex relationship, and that shows that there is some kind of pressure welding. But overall the grains, they are quartz, and the grains are, if you see that their roundness is moderate, their sorting is not very good actually. Sorting is poor, and you have the smaller grains as well as the larger grains and all the different grains that is the sorting is poor, but the roundness is moderate, and there is the iron cement which is you are getting in between the grains. If we rotate it, you can see that the different grains, they are actually going to extinction, and their colors are mostly first order gray. Colors are first order gray, which is a typical color of the quartz. And then you see the mostly the quartz are unimodal. They are not polymodal quartz. So a few grain on the lower part shows the polymodal character. So can you Aditi fix it and show a polymodal grain?
So this one?
Yeah. थोड़ा सा इसको रोटेट करके दिखाओ. थोड़ा सा रोटेट करो तो deeper. Yeah. Fix it. Now you see that there is the polycrystallinity. There are number of subgrains within this grain, and different subgrain, they are going extinction at different time. So this is actually a polycrystalline quartz, but the quartz which is above that are not like that. These quartzes are monocrystalline quartz. So if we see the polycrystalline quartz here, so what is the number of subgrain? I can see the two major subgrain. One is blackish and another is whitish. And what is the contact between the two subgrain? The contact is very irregular, and there is no specific direction of the contact. Contact is very irregular. So this kind of that the number of subgrain is less than 3, and the subgrains are subequant subgrains with the contact which is not elongated but is a irregular contact. This kind of polycrystalline quartz is either from a plutonic source or from a low rank metamorphic source. Okay. We are you students, are you getting any matrix here?
So we are seeing only the clast and
No,
the
sir.
Clast and
cement, iron oxide.
iron oxide. So we are not getting matrix here. We're not getting matrix here. And it is a arenite. That means it is a arenite. And arenite, and the grains are fully dominated by quartz. So that's why we are calling it a quartz arenite. Okay. Aditi, can we show anything more?
Sir, this is also quaternite.
No, it is not quartz arenite.
So, okay, sorry, this is not. Yes.
Okay. This is again a quartz arenite.
Yes,
And, but here the grain size is very small.
Yes.
Grain size is very small, but the grains are
Also-
class supported.
Yes. So there is some feldspar and also quartz overgrowth.
So can you plot the
Yes.
so that yeah. So Aditi, just this is the left side is the plane and right side is the cross.
Is the cross.
Aditi, just point the arrow in the dust line on the dust line.
So this.
Yeah. So when we talk about the quartz overgrowth, you can see a quartz and there is a very fine line which Aditi is showing by a arrow. And then again you have a quartz above this line. You can see, or the students can see, and then you can look at the other grains as well. There is a very fine line, and which is actually, so students are convinced.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So this line is called the dust line. What is the dust line mean? Dust line means it is the boundary between the original quartz grain and the silica cement. So if you have a silica cement, then above the original quartz grain, quartz is also silica. So on the quartz silica, I have a silica cement, the dust line that basically separates the original grain from the silica cement. So the portion of it which is above the dust line, that is the silica cement. Now you see the Aditi ऊपर का वो grain दिखाओ, that the dust line and there is cement and the cement is broken in between. बीच में ले जाओ, बीच में नहीं, और थोड़ा ऊपर ले जाओ, नहीं ऊपर. So there is the cement is broken. Cement is there is a gap in cement and cement is broken. What this broken cement means? That it is a inherited cement. That means the grain developed the cement in its earlier cycle, and then with cement the grain has come, and during its transport the cement got broken. So the broken cement talks about the inherited grain.
So
But then if you see the grains in the lower part, you can see the two grains, they are basically joined by the silica cement. Students, you can see it.
Yes, sir.
And that is what is called the silica cement. This is how we get the silica cement.
so one
So the
more.
significance of broken cement is not clear yet.
Which one?
Okay, bro.
Broken cement.
So on that side there is cement and नीचे cement है, बीच में नहीं है. We will show further also behind it.
So one more thing is here that this overgrowth is syntaxial with the original quartz grain.
Okay.
So like it is showing the same property as the grain is showing.
Yeah.
So it is in the same crystallographic continuity. Yes, exactly.
Which may not be always true.
Yes, sir. So shall I change the view?
There is another grain I am seeing. It is a siltstone grain, I believe.
So this one.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, it is a rock fragment. Yeah.
It is a rock fragment.
Yes, sir.
So students, you must see that how a rock fragment look like.
Sir, sir, is it a matrix or rock fragment? So
I
it's
am not
not
very
very
sure. I am not very sure. But the thing is that it is compressed against that. It is
Okay.
compressed against that. So to me, it is more like a rock fragment.
Okay, sir.
Silica cement, students, if people could find how is silica cement?
Yes, sir.
So, sir, shall I change the view?
Uh-huh.
So it is the same sample from the same rock.
Okay. So what is the sorting?
Basic.
Sorting is not good.
Hmm.
That we can see. The sorting is not good, and mostly it is a monocrystalline quartz. Hmm.
Yes. So here also we have a rock fragment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is not quartzerinite. This are like more of lithic fragments.
ना आज लिथिक नहीं दिखाएंगे.
अच्छा, okay, sir. Sir, सिर्फ quartzerinite.
Quartzerinite, and we'll show the quartzerinite and give a exercise on quartzerinite.
Okay.
ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है, ये सब नहीं है.
Okay, we have explained this, not 3, 4.
Okay. So what we will do that today we describe the quartzerinite, and I also described that how we basically describe a sandstone. So Aditi will upload in the Google class 2 pictures which may not be discussed with you. 2 pictures will be uploaded. One is a plane polarized light, another is a cross polarized light. You people have to describe the 2 pictures, and that is your task.
Sir, this is also quartzerinite with more of calcitic cement, I guess.
No, ठीक है. Aditi, I don't want to show all these things because this will confuse them.
Oh, okay, sir.
Because I want to show them the ideal picture of the quartzerinite, how
Okay,
a
sir.
quartzerinite looks like. So it is not good to show this thing. This will confuse them. We will also this is we are showing you from a software base. We will try afterwards to show you some real life quartzerinite picture also, how they look like from the Indian basin. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So Aditi, will you be uploading 2 pictures in the Google class?
Sir, now or later?
Anytime by evening you should upload.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
One in the plane polarized light, another is the cross polarized light. You upload that, and they will write the description.
Okay, sir.
Is it okay, students?
Yes. Okay, sir.
So anything you people want to ask? And please, some of you keep the attendance.
Yes, sir. I am taking care of it.
Because anytime university can ask for the attendance. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll be meeting tomorrow at 10. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.